Hey everybody, this is Carrie and Jarrod from Tone Wars. The show's about to begin, but before we get started, we just wanted to wish you a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season, a very Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
We really appreciate all the support that you guys have shown us over the last couple of years, and the channel is growing really quick, and we really look forward to hanging out with you guys twice a week now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It really is the highlight of our week. And like I always say, every day's a gift, and we really appreciate the fact that you spent part of yours with us.
And with that, we want to cheers to you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Tone Wars. Now go get your drinks. The show's about to begin.
Welcome to Tone Wars.
Hey everybody. Sorry I'm late. It's been one of them nights, man. I had to make a lot of adjustments tonight for tonight's live stream. Got a lot going on. I got the JSX, and I figured, you know, I can't do a full-blown gauntlet tonight, but I figured I'd put it up against one amp, and one amp I haven't played in a while on the show is the MT-15. So I want to see how it does up against that for you guys, and they're about the same price right now. I mean, the JSX, when it first came out, I think it was like 2004, 2005 era, they were around $1,700, $1,800. Right now, at Motor City Guitar, they have it green tagged, which means it's new, but it's old stock, if that makes sense. It's just been there a long time, most of the time in a box, and they put it on the sales floor not too long ago, and it's priced at $679 right now, which is ridiculous. So if you're looking to scoop one of these up, brand spanking new, now's a good time to do it, because Motor City Guitar's got one left there, and this is it. And you know, it literally is brand new. It's just been sitting on the floor, and it's a great time to get one of these, because again, it's a great deal. So, and I've been kind of passing it up every time I went in there, just because there's other amps and stuff, and Matt. What's up, Matt? He told me last time I was in there, he goes, dude, you got to try it. It's a cool amp. So I took it home, and we're going to see what it's made of. But before I do that, I want to say hello to everybody here. And I'm sorry again, you guys have been waiting a while. And I got a nice little treat for you with the Dynamount. I think it's the X1-R or X1-R, I believe is the model number. That we're going to kind of do a quick demo of tonight. I have a gear cam on it right now, so you have an up-close view of it. So it's going to be kind of cool, too. You Mofo, Ben Burnett, Brad Shimke, Gunnerman54, what's going on, guys? Warmcord, what's happening? Jay, Scott Fulmar, what's happening? Christopher, Brent Shaver, what's happening? Live Ready Sound, hey, what's going on, Tim? Tim is here. He said, I'd definitely buy a JSX if the price was right. But that robot, though. Yeah, the robot. Yeah, what's going on, Tim? Hey, Tim, post a link to your profiles in here. Tim owns Live Ready Sound. He makes really good KEMPER profiles. So if you're looking for some very good KEMPER profiles, click on Tim's link and look him up. He's got a ton of amps, and he makes really good stuff. So check him out. Good to see you here, buddy. Let's see here. Acoustic, what's happening? Super Juggerwatt, what's happening? He said, I'm setting up a guitar right now. Hey, sweet, man. Isn't that fun? It's like, it's therapy, right? It's like therapeutic. Merry Christmas to you too, buddy. So let's see here. So here is, man, I moved the monitor farther away, so I'm kind of regretting that right now. I'm trying to read everything. So there's the gear cam. And here is, I'll move it around for you. So there's center. And then this is sweet spot 1, which is at the crease. Sweet spot 2, which is just off the crease. Off axis 1, off axis 2. And then the dark setting, where I have it kind of like, you know, in a darker spot on the speaker. So move it back. And then in a minute here, I will play the amp and move the mic around for you guys so you can hear the different sounds that it makes. It's subtle because I got it blended with the Royer R10, but you'll still hear, like, this is my coloring mic. This is the mic I use to kind of add some highs or mids or whatever to the guitar tone, and I found some cool sweet spots with it, and I'll move it around and save more. Those are presets, which I think are really cool. You just hit a button, and it goes to a preset. It's freaking killer. And it's pretty quiet, too. So, turn this fan back off here. So, alright, let me fire up the amplifier. This is the JSX 120, and it's on the Ultra channel. And let me make sure I got everything right hit back here on the KHE switcher. 1 second here, guys. Had to throw in a couple of Satriani whammy bar tricks in there. But yeah, pretty cool freaking amp. You know, it was better than I expected, and I know it sounds weird, but I've heard mixed reviews on it, you know, so. But what I will say, though, is it's kind of cool because it's a piece of history. If I recollect properly, this is Joe's first signature amp, and so if you look up some of the albums that he did in that era, or tours, there it is, right there. That's the sound. So if you like the sound he got on those albums, this is it right here. And so it's got 3 modes. It's got Ultra, Crunch, and Clean. And I'm pushing it with the Horizon Devices Precision Drive right now. So what I'm going to do right now is I'll play a couple riffs on, let me switch to Crunch and see what that's like, and then I'll switch to Ultra. So when you see me reach over here, I'm flipping it up to Ultra, okay? And this is with the overdrive on. Alright, there you have it. So that's the difference between the two. Let me turn the overdrive off and do the same thing between them. I'm going to start on the Crunch and go to Ultra, okay, with the overdrive off now. Alright, so there you have it. So I found the Ultra to be a little warmer than the, it's more of a lead channel, so it's a little warmer. It still works great for a rhythm channel. Let me put this back on before I forget. And I found the Crunch to be a really good Crunch channel for rhythms and stuff. You could probably use it for leads too. I don't see anything wrong with that. Depends on your taste. But it's a little sharper. It's got more bite to it, which a Crunch channel should, because it's got that nice, great, really nice pick attack. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty freaking cool. You know, I really do. There's a lot of great features on it. It's got a fat switch, which you'll notice more in the room, and it has a clean channel, which I will demonstrate for you right now as well. There you go. There is the clean channel. Turn this on for safety. There we go. So yeah, it's a really nice chimey clean channel. I think you'd really like it. So yeah, and again, $679 for a brand new JSX 120, and it's brand new. Nothing wrong with it. You know, just sat in the store for a bit. It's in really good working order. Sounds good. I personally, I'd slam it with an overdrive, because I slam everything with an overdrive. I'm sure the Satch did too, because there's no way you're going to get those crazy whammy bar harmonics and stuff like that and sustain without one. By the way, coffee tonight because I'm so tired. So, yeah. Anyway, let's hear it in a mix in a second here. Catch up to you guys. Jim Sieben, what's going on? Daryl McMillan, what's happening? Super Gigawatt. Chicago Todd, what's happening, man? Let's see here. JJ's House of Jams. Thanks for the kind words, Live Ready Sound. Thanks, Tim. Seriously, anytime you're in here, Tim, post a link to your stuff. I want to support you. I think you're a really good guy. Very honest person. You make great stuff, and you know, so I think you should get, you know, you should get the business. You deserve it. You're a good dude, man. Jared makes everything sound so damn good. Thanks, buddy. You're too kind. I try. You know, it's all about the mics and, you know, dialing it in. So Scott Fulmer says, I read Satriani never truly liked the amp because he was rushed to get the distortions to sound right before production. Interesting. It sounds great to me, but my ear isn't trained as Joe's or Jared's. You're too kind, sir. Kevin Boyle says, I have a JSX, but never considered it a metal amp. More like a soloing amp. Put 6L6s in it. Okay, fair enough. Matt Force, the man that twisted my arm into bringing this here. What's up? Everybody say hello to Matt. He's the manager at Motor City. Great guy. He risked his life a couple times to get boxes of amps down for me from like 5 shelves up in the stock room. So, you're a good dude, man. Chicago Todd, Tim's profiles are the bomb. Yes, they are. He makes great stuff, you know. He really does. Kevin Boyle, what's happening, man? If I missed anybody, I apologize. So, yeah, it's a cool amp. I would say I mean, will it do metal? I think if you push it hard and drive the gain. I mean, I got the gain at like about 1 o'clock on it, on the Ultra channel, and at 2 o'clock on the Crunch channel. And I'm slamming it with an overdrive, and it does pretty good. You know, it really does. I'm digging it. So let me see if the let me see if this thing's, yeah, it's still working there. So let's do this. Before we get started on the mixes and stuff, let me go over the Dynamount. And I'm just going to put on the gear cam right now. I was going to play a chord or something. I was going to have my wiretap pedal down here to loop something, but I didn't have time to hook it up. So I'm going to play a chord or something like that, and then I will show you what this, how it colors the sound as I move it around, okay? So we'll start on the sweet spot, and then we'll just move it around from there, okay? So let me turn on the gear cam, and you can see where it's at and how it affects the sound. Again, it's subtle because I'm blending it with my Royer R10, but you can still hear the difference, okay? 1 second. Okay, so now I'll only turn on that mic, which is going to lower the volume a little bit, but I mean, at least you can hear exactly what's going on. So I'm going to mute the R10 mic, and all you're going to hear is the 57 now. 1 second. Okay, so that's kind of how it's coloring the sound. Now, of course, I can, let me turn my camera back on here. Of course, I can, turn the 57 up and the R10 down a little bit so I can hear a little more coloration. I mean, there's a lot you can do, and I'm doing this all with an app. Dynamount has an app, and you can save 6 presets on however you want the mic to be set up, and it memorizes those, and every time you push it, it just goes back to, every time you push a preset, you can label them whatever you want, so you just hit the preset and it just does its thing, and you can also just move it around anywhere, you know what I mean? You can move it anywhere you want it to go, like I mean, I'll show you that now too. Let me just go ahead and let me go to the other camera. Now, I'm not going to play because I'm going to leave my mic on, my room mic on, so I can tell you what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and move it as far away from the speaker as I can. So it's going to go out to there. So that's all the way out. And then I'll move it all the way back in. And then I can turn it. I can bring it over at like a left or right sweep. Okay, so it's got quite a bit of, range of motion there. I was bumping into the logo, and then I can go ahead and spin it. I could spin it towards the camera, away from the camera. So it's got tons of range of motion. I mean, that's insane. So let me go back to the sweet spot. Isn't that cool? So now I can spin it around and do my thing with it, and then just bring it back to the sweet spot if I want, and it just remembers where that is, and then I'm good to go. Go back to the dark side of things, back to the sweet spot. You can even do off axis, which tilts the mic slightly, so it brings it over, and then I tilted it back towards the speaker. Let me move my arm so you can see the light hitting the microphone. So there's another off axis setting. And then there's that one there. So it brings it over and points it back at the crease at a slightly off axis angle, not straight on, so you can get a different, like a more low end basically on it. So yeah, it's pretty freaking cool. I mean, the stuff that this thing does is amazing. And if you get a wiretap pedal, and thanks Jay for the heads up on that, you can basically record a riff on it, and it'll loop that riff on, you know, like your real guitar sound into your amp, and then you can just let the pedal just loop that riff while you're moving the mic around and finding your sweet spot without leaving your chair. And then you can, if you found a new sweet spot on it, you could just hit save on one of the settings and then label it, and then there's a new setting for you. So I think it's really handy for guys like me who do a lot of profiling, who do a lot of live streams and recordings and stuff like that for my shootouts. It really helps me to get the sweet spot on you know, the speaker for all the different amps that I dial in. And honestly, that's part of the trick of getting a good sound, because every amp has different frequencies, so it means it's going to have a different sweet spot for the microphone on the cab too, so to pick up the true essence of the amplifier. So it really does matter. So anyway, so let me pull out of the app here, pull up my other app, and let's do, let's see, make sure I'm on the right channel. I'm going to attempt to play a mix for you. I haven't been playing much lately because I've been too busy doing other things. Let's see how this amp performs in a full mix. Give me a second here. You're going to hear a lot of those stupid whammy bar tricks tonight because I just have to. It's the Satch amp. I have to do them. Yeah, a little rusty tonight, but yeah, we'll have fun anyways. Yeah, I think it sounds good in the mix. I think it performs well. Like the one guy said, I mean, it's a soloist, like Steve Vai's amps. Like his are really made for guys that like to solo. You know, like most of Steve Vai does is you know, shredding and the crazy alien like things that he does. And this one really supports that on channel on the Ultra channel. And it does get there with the crunchy stuff too. I mean, it's still got that nice crunchy attack. And I think this is more versatile than Steve Vai's Legacy amps. I've played them, and they are not for me at all. They're too soft. They're very soft on the top end, and just kind of, there's no attack. There's no crisp, sharp kind of attack to them. They're a little squishy and soft, where this one actually does go there. It does have it. So how does it compare to other amplifiers? We'll find out in a little bit here. You know, we're gonna put it up against the MT-15 and check it out. And seriously, guys, like, if you want a piece of history and a piece of nostalgia, I mean, for the price, you can't beat this amp. I mean, $679. It's brand new at Motor City. There's a link below. I'm not trying to sell it for them. I'm just telling you, like, there's one left, and this is it. So I think Scott Fulmer was like, yeah, I'm thinking about getting one of these. I'm telling you, it's worth $679. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's a great deal for that. It really is. So let me see what other mixes do I have. Let me do. I know this is one that people are probably a little tired of, but I'm gonna do it anyways, just to kind of hear it later and see how it sounds on this. So this is about as metal as it gets. This is a pretty metally kind of mix here. Let's see how it does in this one. Not bad. I'm telling you, not bad. I mean, it sounded good, and it's got that chunkiness that you need for those types of mixes, you know. Let me go down to the crunch, and I'm going to do, boy, I'm taking some chances here tonight. I literally haven't played some of these songs in a bit. I've been busy. TJ was on my last live stream, and he did all the playing, so I didn't even play then. Let me do Disjointed. This is kind of a crunchy, metally kind of tune as well, and I'll get to your comments in a minute. It works. It does it. I mean, and I hear what you guys are saying. Is it a metal amp? I mean, I don't think it was designed to be one, but it can definitely get into that territory and work in there. You know, so yeah, I think it does a pretty freaking good job. I really do. I like the fat switch. I do have to turn things up to get more low end on this, more than I do other amps, but that's, you know, every amp's got its own sweep and, you know, on the knobs and sweet spots and everything else. As long as it gets there, you're good, you know. So I'm going to put it back on the Ultra, and then after I read your comments, I'm going to go ahead and switch it back and forth between, you know, the JSX and the MT-15. I figured they're about the same price. Let's see what they got in that price range. See how they compare, you know. Read your comments here. Let's see here. Yeah, he says the Brad Shimke says the Dynamount is a game changer for studios. It really is. I mean, I tell you, I love that thing. It was, and I gotta give a shout out to Jay from Warmcord. He was on the phone with me while I was trying to set up the Wi-Fi on it. It was a little, the language they use doesn't work with my brain very well, but we got it figured out, and a lot of it was just user error on this guy right here. So, but we got it figured out, and it actually worked out really well. So, love it very much, man. It's a great piece of gear. It really is. Mr. Harmonic. The harmonics really work on this amp. It's good. And it's interesting that they rushed him. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you know, we got to get into production here and you got to do it, and maybe Joe got more money from Marshall later on. I mean, who knows, but it's still a cool piece of history to own. And it's, you know, the thing is like, it's not like, oh, that's Joe's bastard amp that, you know, sucks or whatever. No, it's good. It's actually a pretty damn good amp. I mean, when I first plugged into it, I'm like, this is pretty cool. I mean, I have a pretty cool collection here. I wish I could shoot it out with all of them tonight. I'm just not set up for that. But I think it's, again, it stands up to like some of the... you know, what was it? The Peavey, what was it? The 3120 I had on here. This beats that. That's for sure. That was a little small sounding, which this one sounds a little bigger than that. Kevin Boyle says 6L6 will give it more of a bombastic in front of the cabinet sound, and it can be used as a workhorse amp. Nice. Between the volume and the master, you can get a wide variety of sounds to meet any rock and metal genre. No, you're probably right. You're probably right. I can hear that. Jeff Cornell, what's up, buddy? Let's see. Brad Shimke says, don't forget to mention that the JSX has a built-in noise gate. Yes, it does. I think every amp should have one. No, you're right, dude. Yeah, it has a noise gate right here, built in. I have noise gates on my pedals and stuff too, so I don't know how good it works because I haven't, you know, I got noise gates in my Helix and everything else, but I'm sure it works pretty good, you know. Oh, Super Juggerwatt says, I want to try something new in the world of strings. I'm still using Ernie Ball SACKS sax. I use the Ernie Ball, but I use the I'm gonna forget the name. It's the ones that aren't supposed to break, and I'll probably break one tonight since I said that. Whatever those paradigms. I use the paradigms, and I love them. They feel great, and they do last longer than other strings. They do break, but it takes longer for them to break. And again, I just jinxed it, so guaranteed to break a string tonight since I said that. Oh, Kevin said the noise gate was a great addition, and it works. Cool, man. Thank you. Let's see here. Luca, what's going on, buddy? I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. All right, so here we go. What was I going to do? I was going to compare the two amps. So I'm on the Ultra channel of the JSX with the precision drive on, and when you see me reach back here, I'm going to switch to the MT-15. Alright, so I'm going to play a couple riffs on each and see how they sound. Here we go. Alright, mute that, get back on the JSX. Now, I have to tell you what I'm feeling in the room, because, I mean, you're not going to feel what I'm feeling, because obviously you're on YouTube, watching it on hopefully some good speakers, but when I switched to the MT-15, the low end became pretty punishing in a good way. It was like, really, you could tell it has more girth to it. A lot of low end, but not too much. Like, it's a healthy amount, and it has a more modern, almost kind of compressed sound to it. The JSX was a little more focused, and less compressed, and it has less low end, which I guess makes sense because Satriani is more of a solo player, and he doesn't need all that bottom end and all that chunkiness. He was looking for something that sang like a bird, and this amp does do that. So, you know, it just, you know, I'm just telling you like what I'm experiencing here, because the YouTube compression does cover some things up. But this one, it's a little less hairy on the JSX, and there's definitely more hair on the MT-15. For whatever that's worth. Neither thing is good or bad. It's just whatever you prefer. Some people like something that's a little drier, and some people like something a little more hair on it. Depending on my mood, that's what I go. I go for either one. But the JSX is definitely a little drier. So you're, you know, so depending on what you want, you know, I think they're both good. Now I will say this. I mean, the MT-15 surprised me. As far as, like, sometimes when you play these, you know, these 15 watt or 20 watt amps up against, this is 120 watts. When you play it up against that, usually the little amp will sound small. You'll be like, ooh, there's that smallness, you know, that's why I want bigger tubes and bigger transformers. But the MT-15 held its own with the size department. I think it sounds a little bigger because it's got that more wider, less direct sound. And so, you know, so rest assured that if you have an MT-15, I honestly think that's an amp worth hanging on to, especially for a lunchbox amp. That thing packs a huge punch, sounds amazing, you know, so it definitely holds its own every time I put it up against something else. It has a respectable standing in the ring with anything, so I thought it did really well. Still, the JSX sounds great. I think the MT-15 sounds a little more modern, you know, as it should. It was just made a few years ago, where the JSX, so we're looking at 2004, so it's like 16 years ago that this was made. So definitely going to be a difference, but again, it's a piece of history, and it's from one of the most renowned guitar players out there. So I think it's definitely something worth snagging, you know, I really do. It's a cool amp. Oh, my coffee's getting cooled. I'll switch guitars and do a couple more mixes for you guys too. I'll catch up to you guys here. Thundertones, Lucas says. That's awesome, man. Yeah, Thundertones, man. They're both great. They both really are. Peavey and Satch did a great amp. Great features, very useful noise gate. No, that's awesome. It really is. I mean, seriously, like, for the value at $679, you're not going to get an amp that's more feature packed than this. And again, this is brand new. It's new old stock, which means again, it's not been sold and returned. It's not used. It's literally new old stock. You know, just sat on the floor for a bit. The JSX Super Gigawatt says the JSX is good, but definitely didn't sell as well as the 5150. Yeah, I know the 5150s just took over the market when they came out. I remember seeing an interview with Joe Satriani when he said that when he went into I think to test the 5150, they had it sitting in a studio, and he said I could hear it buzzing as I walked in, like this angry thing sitting in the corner, just, you know, and he said all the rage coming out of that thing just sitting there was like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? The thing sounds like it's going to explode. And he was blown away at how good the amp was, and loved it. So I think he actually recorded a few tracks with it. I don't remember which ones, but he tried it out and loved it. And, you know, so maybe that's when he was testing the waters with Peavey. And, you know, maybe they were courting him at the time. They're like, well, we can make one for you too, but it'll have to be something different. And he was like, yeah, all right, let's do it. And maybe that's how this came about. I don't know. That's just a guess. But yeah, freaking awesome, man. What was I going to do? I have any other mixes I was going to do with this. This one song vexes me, but no, I'm not going to do it tonight. I'm not ready. Yeah, I was going to do a new one tonight, but I need to practice more before I do this one. That solo is pretty weird. But maybe I'll do the Sphinx. And tonight's going to be a little shorter than usual. I don't know what my deal is, but I've been kind of tired lately. I need to catch up on some rest or something. I've been staying up late, tweaking gear and setting stuff up, and I'll tell you, man, that stuff wears on you. Especially when you stay up late, get 5 hours of sleep, and go out and wash 32 trucks in the freezing cold. That's not good for you either. And I'm not 20 anymore either. I'm 21. Alright, so let me tune this bad boy up here. What's everybody drinking tonight? I'm drinking coffee because I got to stay awake. I might have to do some cardio tonight too. God, keto is working, but it's not, if that makes sense. I need to lose more weight faster. Okay, so let's see here. Good guy Jamie. Love random facts like that. Apparently he used a boogie on parts of Flying in a Blue Dream. Oh, I'm all about the Easter eggs. Whenever I watch videos and stuff, I like picking up on all the little Easter eggs and stuff like that too. So thank you. Yeah, I'm all about the random facts and Easter eggs, you know. Yeah, I loved, you know, Flying in a Blue Dream had some cool stuff on it. Mr. Potato Head Groove Thing was pretty cool. Flying in a Blue Dream. There was some pretty cool, very interesting songs on that album. That was a very cool era in his career. I kind of dug it. Christopher, I'm thinking of Manhattan sounds good tonight. That does sound good. I was going to have an old-fashioned, but I was like, oh, I better drink coffee because I'm going to fall asleep. It's just one of them days. If I sit down too long, I end up sleeping, so I got to watch it. So Lucas says, Joe came from 5150, then modeled his signature JSX, then he moved to Marshall again, JVM 410 JS signature, thinking some Peavey's features. Ah, gotcha. JSX cabinet sounds good, Kevin says. That's awesome, man. Yeah, the JVM amplifiers, the 410, well, I had one on the show. I'm not a huge Marshall fan, but that amp just blew me away. I mean, the saturation in that amp was great. I love compressed, saturated, gainy, like full-sounding amplifiers. I'm not a big fan of open amps or really super dry amps, but something that's got some good saturation in it, I just feel more comfortable playing those. And they just sound really full, and that amp really surprised me. I liked it a lot. You could probably pick one up real cheap, Kevin says. Yeah, I'll tell you, man, if you're looking for like a match set, on a cool amp, you know. That's pretty cool, man. I mean, seriously, you're not gonna find a better deal on a piece of history like this anywhere, unless you go on Reverb, and then you're getting a used one. You know, this one's brand new. So let me do a couple riffs on a drop tune guitar. It's a 7-string, and see what it sounds like. Okay. Sorry, I had to make sure the mix was at the right volume. Now it is. 1 second. You know, one of the things I noticed is it loves the wah. It does that quirky thing that the Ingle Savage Channel 3 does. It's got that weird twisty turny kind of vowel thing going on with the wah that I really like, and I love that. So if you're a big wah fan and you like to play, you know, your wah quite a bit, so if you're Kirk Hammett, just kidding. So if you play your wah a lot with your solos, this thing it just sounds amazing with the wah. Let me do a couple of stupid wah things and see if I could demonstrate that. pretty cool. I mean, it's just a different... I'm trying to find the right word, but a different vowel that it makes than other amplifiers when you engage the wah. It's got that special little weird quirky thing that it does, and I really like that a lot. Every time I hear that, I'm always like, ooh, that's nice. So I think that's a cool little, little Easter egg in the amplifier. It takes a wah very well, and it does that quirky thing with it, and I don't know, it's just something that really blows my skirt up anyways, for lack of a better word. I love when I hear that. It's like, oh man, I could play that all day. It's just so fun. It's so quirky, and it's just a badass thing that it does. So that's something to consider if you like that tone, that timbre. It really does make a difference. Scott Fulmar, Heaven's Door Bourbon. You know what? Thank you for bringing that up again. I looked for that at my local place, and I couldn't find it, but there's a couple other places I got to look at and see if I can find it. But one of these days I will find it, and I'll snag it up. And we'll have one together on YouTube. Let's see here. Oh my God, Kevin, you said you guys got a blizzard on Long Island, so I'm drinking Bullet whiskey. You know what? I do have some Bullet upstairs, so maybe I'll end the night with a glass of that. I hope you guys are staying safe, warm, and yeah, don't be driving around in a blizzard, man. Long Island, huh? That's a nice place to live. That's where John Petrucci lives, Kings Park. Warm chord music, Super Colossal. Oh, is that the era that he played this on? Is that what you're referring to? That'd be interesting. Kevin Boyle, might as well drink because your job's canceled tomorrow. Hey, might as well, right? Sheesh. I would. Let's see here. Warm Chord says, I had a recording magazine showing him with it and talking about the recording. Oh, cool. Interesting. Yeah, I'd like to find out exactly what album he used this on, because it does sound good. It records well, I'm sure. Brad, that's sustain. You could hit a note, go on vacation, when you get home, continue the solo. Yeah, it's got some great sustain, and it really is. It's all about how much gain and the overdrive. It really does make sense to use that. That's why some people question me, like, oh, you got too much gain. I'm like, yeah, but the way I play, I need it. I need that sustain, because I do a lot of long ringing out notes and crazy whammy bar stuff, and I need that so that those notes don't die. It's embarrassing when they die. It's like telling a joke and there's no laughter in the room. It's just kind of like, it falls flat, and you're like, oh, the note died, I hate that feeling, so I want lots of sustain, Oh, thanks, Luca. Appreciate that. He said, this wah really talks. No, I'm telling you, like, when I notice quirky things about an amp, I'll always demo those, because it really does make a difference. Like, those little tonalities, those little timbres, those little things, when you add all that stuff up, that's what gives you your individual tone, and that's why people chase, like, oh, so-and-so's tone, I wonder how he does it. And it's not just the settings on the amp, it's other things, and it all adds up to, that's what gives you that tone that you like. So, it really makes a difference. Let's see here. Kevin Boyle is asking, let's see here, what is your example of a really good saturated metal amp? Great question. All right, so I would say that the EVH would be a really good example of it. These are in no particular order, okay, but the EVH and the Ingle Savage Channel 4, 11 o'clock, all day long, where the gain is, they put it at 11 o'clock, all day long. That thing will do everything you want it to do. It will absolutely meet every need you've ever wanted in an amplifier. If you want, like just perfection for metal, like the most ridiculous, savage, just the things nightmares are made of, Channel 4 on the Ingle Savage is it. It really is. It is just, it's tight, it's crunchy, it's dry, it's wet, it's everything. It's a good mixture of all the stuff. There's tons of saturation in there, but it's plenty dry enough to hear all the notes and the articulation, but there's tons of saturation in there too. It's weird. It's like it's got the best of everything, in my opinion. And lots of sustain, lots of great features, and that amp just, it's a thrill to play every time I play it. I'm like, this is all I need. I mean, channel 4 is ridiculous. Channel 2 is a great crunch channel, but channel 4 does it all, you know. And channel 3, if you want to get your creep on, that's a good one. The Cherry Tone Molecular, awesome amp. The saturation on that amp is freaking amazing. That amp will do it all too. You know, so I mean, there's a couple of examples for you of what I would consider like a really nice, good saturation on an amplifier, like the perfect amount of wetness, you know, and juiciness in the amp would be there. Scott, dude, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, man, that was very generous and kind of you. I really appreciate that very much. You're awesome, dude. Thank you so much. That's what keeps the channel going. Thank you. Chicago Todd says, you need to figure out what makes this and the Ingle special with the wah. There must be a technical reason. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's got to be something about the circuits and the way that the notes are colored when you engage the wah. There's a thing there that happens. And a lot of times when I notice that, I think that an amp's going to do that. It's when the harmonics are kind of cold. Let me demonstrate that for you. The pinch harmonics on this are a little cold, and typically on an amplifier that has that, it'll do that with the wah. So I think there's something about the circuit that, you know, fits both categories there. Okay, so I'm on the MT-15 right now. Does not have the cold harmonics. They're juicier and warmer. And then when I switch to when I switch back to the Peavey or the JSX, they're colder. And so I'll switch back and forth. I'm on the MT-15 right now. I'll switch to the JSX after that. I don't know if that comes across on YouTube, but I'm telling you, in the room, I could hear it. It's like, yep, these are colder. And that's what it is. It really is. So let me do a passage with the wah on each amp, and then you'll hear the timbre and the wah on each one. The MT-15 is going to be more straightforward. I'll do the same passage. So I'll start on the JSX. That's where I'm at right now. So we'll start on the JSX, and I'll do the same passage on the MT-15. Okay, so as you heard, I hope that on YouTube you could hear it, but as you heard, the timbre on the JSX has that weird quirkiness to it that I love, And the MT-15 still sounded great, but it's more straightforward. It's more what we always hear when someone steps on a wah. It's just like that. It's got that slash kind of, I don't know, Zakk Wylde, Petrucci, whatever, you know, even Hendrix kind of sound, where it's more predictable. It's more like what we're used to, you know. And then you play the wah, like on the Ingle Savage Channel 3, especially on this. And I think the Cherrytone Yeti also had that weird thing on it. And it's just a different seasoning on it. And it really does, once you hear it, you can't unhear it. It's like something, especially if it speaks to you and you really like it, it's something that you're going to seek after forever. It's like you'll play an amp and you'll be like, you'll have to give it the wah test. Like, does it do that thing? And it's not a deal breaker, but boy, is it a nice benefit. You know, it's like, wow, brains, looks, and you're rich. You know what I mean? I hope this works out, you know? It's that kind of thing. So, so on this, if you really do dig that quirky wah thing, I'm telling you, this has it, and it really works very well. And the notes twist and turn, and the vowels change, and there's just a different vowel that it makes on this, or a different color or something. It's just weird, but I love it. As soon as I touched it, or hit the wah on it, I was like, oh, there it is. There's that awesome thing, you know? So every once in a while I run into an amp that does that, and it's rare. Not every amp does that. So I hope that demonstration kind of showed the difference. Again, more straightforward on the MT-15, which, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But the quirkiness is definitely in the, in the JSX. So that's a cool freaking feature. It really is. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up to you guys here. The effects you use are a trip, Super Chick says. Yeah, man, I'm all about the effects, man. I love dialing in, like, my delays and my, I like to use the, I don't know if I'm using that tonight or not. Let's find out. I use a little bit of chorus on my delay for my rhythms sometimes, and I really love how that sounds. It just colors things a little differently. Let me see if I'm using that tonight. Yeah, it just adds a little color to it. It's something different. And a lot of times it'll add chorus to your sound without actually activating a chorus pedal, because the repeats have chorus. And you'll hear it. So all your original notes will be straight, and then the repeats will have chorus, and it adds a layer of chorusing on top of your chords. So it's almost like ducking, but you don't have to turn ducking on because it's on your delay. So it's kind of an interesting concept, you know. Let's see here. Warmcore says it definitely has a signature sound. The upper mids are unique. Yeah, it's a very unique amplifier. And again, like I said, I mean, finding one of these in the wild is kind of rare. And finding a new one, for this kind of price is actually a really good deal. So again, if you're looking for one of these, I'm telling you, I think it's worth every bit of $679. It really is. Let's see here. Just trying to catch up to you guys here. Gunnerman says, do you think the Badlander had enough aggressive gain? No. That's a good question. Well, all right. I had to crank it to get it. I had to gain it like 4 o'clock. I think the Badlander's a good amp. I really do. But it wasn't as aggressive as I expected. It was kind of weird because it was like, okay, the big new amp from Mesa, it's modern, it's this, we tweaked it and did this to it and did that to it and really juiced it up, and it's a lot of, modern type stuff, and I played it and I wasn't disappointed with it. I thought it was good, but I was just expecting something that would be like just a, like a drunken brawler, And it's very good. Don't get me wrong. It's a very good amplifier, but I expected more aggression, being a modern amp, because let's face it, Mesa or most companies, they're not going to make an amp every year and go, well, here's our new amp this year, like our new album, it's going to be every several years. So you want to have something that's got enough carryover, like with aggression and features and different sonic kind of offerings that are going to carry it over at least 4 or 5 years, so it stays relevant for that. And I honestly feel like they need to do a Badlander 2 within a year or so that's got more aggression. I really feel like they need to do that. It's got a lot of great tone and a lot of great usable sweeps on the knobs. I think that they sculpted it well. They sculpted a lot of the stuff out that that you would take out of an amp in a mix, and it still sounded great in the room. But I think they should have added more aggression to it, and I think they should have added more gain to it as well, more headroom. I'm not disappointed with it. I'm just saying that if I was in the boardroom when they were making that amp for whatever that's worth, that's what I would have said. I'm like, guys, are we kind of trimming off a little too much fat here? Can we just, I think where the gain is at 4 o'clock on this amplifier, that should be where it should be at. That 4 o'clock setting should be 11 o'clock. And we should have that much more room for more gain, and somehow we need to make this thing a little gnarlier. Whatever circuits we got to put in there to make that happen, I think we owe it to the customer for that. Again, I'm not saying I'm disappointed with it. I'm just saying that I think that's just my constructive criticism of it. I think it could use more aggression, but that's just me. CS, what's up, man? He says, I wonder if the Bogner Uberschall Twin Jet does that quirky, twisty, turny thing with the wah. I hope so, because I got one coming. Dude, I have so many times almost bought one. Almost. You get your finger right over it on your phone, and you're like, add to cart. And I'm like, I just want to so bad. And there's a couple used on Reverb, and I'm like, I want to buy one of these so bad. And right now I'm trying to decide between that and a Diesel Hagen. And I'm really having a tough time, because I got to add one more amp to my collection for profiling, for the show, and for the wall of, doom here that I have going on. And I think that I need another Holy Grail amp to add to the wall. And the Uberschall is definitely a Holy Grail amp, and so is the Diesels. So are the Diesels. So I'm like, oh, what do I do? So I'm still trying to figure that one out. It's kind of a irresponsible, purchase right now, but I kind of don't care. It's one of those things where it's like, screw it. I'm just going to do it and just throw myself off a cliff and see where I land, But I hope it does. Please let me know if it does. I'm telling you guys, the twisty-turny thing that the wah does on certain amps, once you experience it, you're like, oh my god. Again, it's like looks, brains, and you're rich. It's one of those things, like, oh my god, this is amazing. And you can't ever unhear it. It's that weird thing that it does, and it's so much fun to engage the wah and experience that, because it's just such a, I know this sounds really stupid when I say this, but it's such a joy to hear it when you're playing. Even in a mix, you can tell it's there. You can hear it in a mix. And you're like, oh, it just sounds so good. It's just got this crazy thing that it does. And it makes you play different. And you'll write certain things that bring those notes out. And you'll hold them longer, because you'll hear them gradually turn. Just like a the barbershop pole thing. You'll see it. You can hear it turning as you hold the note, and it's just got this weird timbre and the weird vowel on it. It's I don't know. It's hard to explain. But it's awesome. Tony says, you guys need to come over to my house on the lake, and hell, let's party and bring over our axes. And then play through it. Hell yeah, man, I'm down. Tennessee, huh? That's not that. It's like 8 hours. If I'm ever in the area, I'm looking you up, man. Sure, we all get to know each other better, but I'm sure we're all cool. No, that would be fun, man. That would be fun. Oh, Brad Shimke said, "Oh my God, Diesel Hagen." I'm thinking about getting it, man. It's like I'm so close. I'm so close to getting one. It's just such a, it's a hard decision. Tony says, or a Herbert. I thought it was the most brutal of all the diesels. Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I appreciate the insight on that. I asked, there's a guy in California in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, and he said that the Hagen's the most brutal one, that he's the most aggressive one. And he has a Herbert, a VH4, a Paul, and a D-Mall. So it's like, okay. But see, you know, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I'm not saying he's wrong or right or whatever, but it's weird how one person's brutal is another person's, yeah, that's pretty cool, but check this out, you know? And I really want to know. And I even asked Peter Diesel myself. I asked him, I was like, well, which one? And he suggested the VH4 or the Herbert, I think. And the VH4 is not the most brutal one. It's the mothership. It's a great amp, but it's not the most brutal, aggressive one. And yeah, and I got other friends going, oh no, you got to get the Hagen. So it's like I don't know what to do, and it's an expensive amp. And if I could just go to a store and plug into them, but there's nobody that has them, you know. So I kind of got to just order it, and hopefully I like it, right? I hate returning things, so I don't want to be that guy. Super Gigawatt, love the show. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. Love the fact that you guys are here. I really do. I'll play another song for you guys in a minute. Tony's asking, do you give private lessons? Let's arrange that. I'm a paying customer. What say you? Well, I appreciate that. I would be happy to try that out. I've never given lessons before. I've never taken lessons before either. I don't know theory. Just being fully honest with you and transparent. I don't know theory at all. I don't know what this note is on the guitar. Well, that's actually a D. But I mean, because it's an octave. But I don't know what that note is. I don't know what this one is. I don't know what key that's in. I don't know. But I could show you riffs, and maybe you could probably show me some stuff too. But I'm more of a riff guy. I'm more of a show me a riff or a lead line or something, and then I'll figure out where I could put it in a song, and I'll make it my own. You know what I mean? I'll kind of tweak it and make it my own. So that's kind of my school of thought when it comes to stuff. But I mean, we could trade riffs. I mean, that's kind of what I do with my buddies. I like Robert Baker, and I watch him, and he's always got like 5 riffs, and like 3 of them will be something I want to learn. So I'll try them, you know, and learn them. So, but I'd be happy to see how that works. You know, I mean, I don't know how much you'd learn from me. I'm just being honest with you. I really don't. But I'd be happy to do my best for you, you know. Jean Claudio, what's going on, man? He said, I used to live in Muskegon. We should have jammed. Yeah, man, we should have. That's like about 4 hours from me, I think. Yeah, we could have made that work. Tony says, I'd like to learn your songs, man. They're beautiful. No, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, maybe I could do like I've thought about this over the years. Like I could do like a breakdown of some of the solos that I play. And again, for whatever that's worth, I know there's people watching right now that could play me under the table with one finger. So I totally understand that. So I don't think of myself as like some big teacher or anything like that. But I wouldn't mind sharing some of that stuff on the channel just so, you know, just for concept ideas. People could just at least get a concept from me and go, oh, I never thought of doing that way, or that's kind of a cool riff or whatever, because that's how I've learned all the stuff that I've learned. Some of it's happy mistakes, and some of it's just concepts that I've learned from guys like Chris Brooks. I forget the other guy's name, but he's amazing. But, you know, Petrucci, of course, and my friend TJ, who was on here on Sunday night. And, you know, a myriad of other people, you know, Robert Baker, people like that. So let me do one more here. Coffee's like ice cold right now. Ugh. Ice cold coffee. Yummy. So what amp am I on? All right. Let's do it on the JSX. We'll do, make sure I got the right guitar. We'll do the Catacombs. Sorry, had to put a little sloppy playing at the end of that. Playing kind of crappy tonight. Oh well. It's fun to play though. It's a fun amp. You know, it's pretty cool. I will say though, compared to the MT-15, the MT-15 is definitely, it's got some more, like especially in the room, you're gonna notice more low end and just you know, fullness and girth to it. But I mean, you got to just remember different eras, you know. But the JSX for the price, I mean, I like the features on it. I like you got 3 very usable channels on it, and I think it sounds great. I think it performed very well for what I was doing tonight. The effects loop works, sounds good. You got depth, presence, master volume, and then each channel has its own volume control. You got a noise gate, 120 watts. You know, I mean, not bad. And you can shave. Like if you don't have a mirror in the house, you can use this as a shaving mirror, you know. So pretty cool amp, man. Chicago Todd, if you ever want to travel, try some amps. Chandro's Guitars in Wisconsin has diesel amps. He actually sold 4 of them today, including a Herbert. Dude, that might be worth the trip, right? Thanks for the heads up on that. Might be worth it. It's probably about a 6. Well, I don't know. Depending on where he's at in Wisconsin, it might be several hours. I don't know. We'll have to see, but that would be interesting. Tony says, I don't care about anyone better than you'll like your songs, Mang. I want to learn them. No, I'll be, thank you. You're too kind. Yeah, maybe I should do a thing where I break down some of the solos. I tried doing that live one time, but I'm not a teacher. And it's like I really have to get my thoughts together before I do something like that so that I can articulate everything properly and really do a good job explaining things. You know, I'm pretty good at explaining gear, but philosophies on playing and techniques and concepts I'm not so good at. So I got a little tongue-tied. I actually pulled the video down because I feel like I could have done a better job with it. So it was kind of like, let's take it down. It was one of those nights where I just wasn't feeling it. So, but, okay, so, let's see here. Let me catch up to you guys. Luca, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Cia says, my thoughts, all the diesel amps are big money. So with so many choices, that what could go wrong? But the Uberschall is the only choice for the big money, but it is what it is, and brutality, no guesswork. Oh yeah, dude, that Uberschall is like, I mean, it's like if you took a pro wrestler, got him drunk, made him snort a bunch of coke, and told him his mom's ugly, and threw him into a bar full of people, and then he just went in there and tore the place to shreds. That's what the Uberschall is. I mean, that Uberschall is like the most aggressive, brutal, ridiculous, unruly amp out there. At least one of them. I mean, that thing is amazing. So it's definitely on my list. In fact, if they had the 36 months at Sweetwater on that, I probably would have gotten it, but they don't. And I would love to buy it at Motor City, but I don't think that. In fact, I talked to Marty. I don't think they can get them. So right now, it doesn't mean they can't get them in the future, but right now there's probably just something going on where they can't get them. But I'm sure sometime in the future he could get some. But otherwise, I would always buy from Marty because I love that store. So it just depends, you know. Let's see. Tony's asking if you really want to travel. How about the Barbarossa in Italy and the MI Audio of Australia? Barbarossa. I'll have to look that up. Interesting. I wouldn't mind checking that out. Randy Rhodes said he learned most from teaching. Learned the most from teaching. Yeah, it's true. Like, you learn a lot from teaching because it forces you to. If you know you got a lesson coming up, you got to make sure you brush up on your stuff, and so you stay sharp. And when you teach things to people, you learn how to say things more. And then when you bounce it off of a student, and they give you some feedback, it makes you better as well. And you see, you just learn things off of your students as well. It's interesting, you know. Gunnerman, I keep almost getting the Uberschall too. Dude, you got a great collection too, so I'm surprised you haven't gotten one so far. Yeah, I just, you know, I want one more brutal, ridiculous amp to round off my collection by the end of the year, and I know it'd be really, I don't know, what do you call that? You know, probably not a bad or a good choice for me. But I don't know. We'll have to see. Let's see here. Can't get one in Canada, only the U.S. Oh, interesting. The Uberschall more brutal than the EVH Stealth or the Engel Savage? I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, the Savage, if it was hooked up right now, I'd fire it up for you guys, but it's not. I gave up the spot for that for the PRS. But that Savage Channel 4 I'm not kidding you. That channel is stupid. It's like ridiculous. That thing slays pretty much everything in the room as far as aggression and huge sound goes. I mean, that thing's just ridiculous. So if you're looking for an amp that really does a lot of great stuff, that's definitely something that should be on your list too. That's an amazing amp. I did a dial-in video of that amplifier, an in-depth dial-in video. If you want to check that out, it's up there on the channel. But I'm gonna wind down here in a couple minutes. I've been on a lot longer than I expected. I was just gonna do an hour tonight. I've been on for an hour and 40 minutes almost, about an hour and a half because I was a little late. But so any other questions or anything, please get them in. I would be happy to answer your questions for you. You know, I enjoyed hanging out with you guys tonight. It kind of woke me up a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to bring this back to the store tomorrow, so they'll have it ready to ship out if anybody wants it. I mean, I'm telling you, it's definitely worth the price that they're asking for it. I mean, it used to be $1,700, and now it's $679, and again, it's brand new. You know, works really well, and if you like the sound of it and that quirky thing that it does with the wah, and you want to get a piece of history and something nostalgic, there you go. Great amp. And there's a link below if you want to order it. Just click on that link and go in this, and it'll take you to the store at Motor City, and you can buy it. And you can even call tomorrow and talk to the guys there and ask questions about it. I'll have it back to the store tomorrow. Let's see here. So Tony's asking, so it beat the EVH? Yeah, I mean the Stealth or the Savage Channel 4. Yeah, I would say it's just got its own thing going on. It's a little, it's there's just something special about it. I can't really put it into words. It's one of those things where you really have to play it, and once you do, you'll be like, oh my god, that thing's amazing, you know? And it really is all up to your taste. Like, so there's guys that'll play the EVH and prefer that. So it really depends, you know? It's almost like, who makes the best pizza? Well, whoever you order from the most, you know, that's who makes it the best. Let's see here. Scott Fulmar, would you buy this amp? I mean, if I was looking for something in this category, I would. Yeah, I really would. I mean, see, right now, limited funds, so I'm like, what I'm trying to do for the show is fill my shelves with amps that are kind of like holy grail, you know, like, oh, how does it compare to that amp? You know, that's why I got that. You know, and honestly, the PRS is kind of a holy grail when it comes to, you know, the lunchbox amps. It's one of the best ones ever made. It really is. I mean, it sounds amazing. The JP Mark II C+, how do you go wrong with that? That's definitely a holy grail amp. Cherrytone Molecular, in my opinion, is one of the best boutique amps out there, especially by Cherrytone. I mean, it's hand-built, very affordable, and the guy that owns the company, Nick, is an amazing dude. And it sounds incredible, and it'll do it all. Dual Rec Roadster, can't go wrong there. It's one of the best dual Recs out there. You know, so, and then, of course, the Stealth is amazing, and then I got the Kraken here, which I think is definitely something interesting, in the KSR. So I'm trying to keep things like, you know, again, I'm not saying this isn't worthy of being on, I mean, my shelf. Who am I? You know, I'm just a guy on YouTube, you know. But it's definitely good. But you know, right now with the limited funds that I have, I'm going to either buy a Diesel or an Uberschall, and so I can compare things to them. This is something that, if you're wanting something to add to your collection, your private collection that you're going to use as a player, you know, and you just kind of want to dig it and play it, you know, and have a piece of history and some nostalgia, I think it's a worthy purchase. I really do. I think it sounds great, feels good. Slam it with an overdrive, and it'll do all the stuff that you want it to do for most people. And here's the thing. Let's say you keep it for a year or two, and after then you just want to, you know, get rid of it to fund another amp purchase or whatever. It would be an easy sale. I mean, especially when you're buying it for $679. I mean, how can you go wrong? You can easily get your money back on it. Again, I think it's something like, if I was looking to add it to like my personal collection just to have around the house and play every once in a while and enjoy, absolutely I would buy it. I'm in a different kind of quest because of what I said earlier. I'm doing shootouts with the Gauntlet, and I want to have all these different like holy grail type amps to do comparisons to. and stuff that's kind of available on the market still and still current, so that people can compare it to something that is an actual contender. If that makes sense. I hope that answers your question. Very long-winded and twisted, but a lot of context there. Oh, thanks, Gunnerman. Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, dude. Again, that's what keeps the channel going, you know. Let's see. Oh, Chicago Todd says you would love the shop. He has life-size mannequin of Iron Maiden Eddie when you walk in, and the shop is exclusively metal. Nothing else need apply. That's awesome, man. That's cool, man. I wouldn't mind checking it out one of these days. Oh, Tony says I have a Omega with the new Slipknot speakers to pair with the EVH Stealth. Oh man, I'm sure that's a great cab. Jason Lewis, what's happening? Not sure if you've heard of the custom double cross, but that's my holy grail. It was the last amp. Custom double cross. No, I've never heard of that. Thanks for mentioning that. I'll have to look that up. Designed by James Brown, Peavey JSX. Yeah, James Brown's legendary. Thanks for the heads up on that. And James Brown, you probably already know this, he's back with EVH now, so I can't wait to see what they come up with next year. That's going to be interesting. He was with Custom after Peavey and before started Amp Tweaker. Interesting. I wouldn't mind looking into that. Thank you. Tony says Stealth is going to bring the EVH mods. The cap and speaker will bring the low mids, I thought. Now wondering if the Ingle Savage might pair with it. Dude, I'm telling you, the Ingle Savage is worth buying. It's if you got the money. And I'm just telling you, like, here's a couple tips on the Ingle Savage. Turn the depth boost on and turn the channel volume all the way up. Otherwise, it sounds choked. It won't breathe properly. It won't give you that fullness. So just crank the channel volume all the way up on it, and then it has two separate master volumes that you can assign to whatever channels you want. And that's it. If I wouldn't have learned that about that amplifier, I would have sent it back because it sounded kind of wimpy without me turning the channel volume all the way up. As soon as I cranked the channel volume all the way up and then attenuated with the master, I was like, oh my god. I mean, it just breathes so much fire. It's like the difference between a campfire and a forest fire. You know, honestly. So just crank that channel volume and attenuate with the master and you're good, man. And plug into the high gain input. You know, and it'll just be amazing. Let's see here. Daryl McMillan. Oh, CS says Daryl McMillan. That's on my radar too. Yeah, it's great. Luca, Jarrod, if you're searching for a great boutique amp, test XL Revo 2 by Brunetti. Really huge and broad tone. Oh yeah, that's an Italian. I've heard of those, I think. It sounds vaguely familiar. I think that's the Italian company, and I wouldn't mind checking that out. Thank you. One of these days I want to get that, man. Revs are awesome. Yeah, Revs are great, and they're good people, too. They're all great. Those guys are amazing guys. All right, so before I wind down for the night, let me do one more shootout between these two amplifiers, okay? I'll just play a riff. I'll start on the JSX, and then I'll go to the PRS MT-15, and I'll just kind of go back and forth and just show you how they compare for the people that got here late. I'll be happy to do that for you guys. Let me mute the room mic. And so again, starting here on the JSX, and then I'll switch. When you see me reach back here, I'm switching to the MT-15. Both great amps, both great choices. So that's one of the reasons why I picked the MT-15 to shoot it out, because it's about the same price. So if you're looking for an amp in that price range, there's 120 watts, that's 15 watts, and it kept up with it really well. And both of them perform very well. You know, again, I enjoyed playing the JSX. I've always wanted to play one, always wanted to try one out, and I was always curious about them. And it's kind of interesting when you play, you know, a signature amp by a guy that's a world-renowned guitar player, and you wonder what he would want in an amplifier. And I think it does perform really well. It was very fun to get to know this amp. And again, if you want a piece of history, I mean, it's a great deal at $679. It really is. It's a really nice deal. I would suggest getting it if you're looking for something that sounds like this, you know, in that price range. Virus C says, hey dude, I have a digital amp question. When using HELIX, can you use a 6-inch studio monitor to create guitar and bass patches, or would you suggest a good 12-inch loudspeaker to handle the low end? Good question. A lot of people in studios nowadays will have a subwoofer to handle all that low end, and the crossover will send that to there. So if you're going to do it on studio speakers, have a subwoofer in there to send that low end down to it, and it'll split the signal up for you, and that way it'll handle bass better. And it sounds better when you're sitting at the desk as opposed to away from it. I know this because of the studio I've recorded at quite a bit. That's what it sounds like. I'm always like, man, it sounds so bassy out here on the couch. He's like, sit in my chair. And I sat in the chair, and I'm like, oh, sounds perfect here. He goes, that's why I use it, you know. I'm the guy mixing, so I got to hear what I got to hear the right way. So as long as you have a subwoofer and you're sitting in the right spot, I would say there's nothing wrong with using bass through some studio monitors. Just get some good ones, you know, get some Adams or, you know, something like that. I mean, I'm not a recording engineer per se. I do stuff for the show, but I don't do a lot of like studio type recording here like a professional would. So I don't spend a lot of money on my studio monitors. One of these days I probably will, but for right now I just use like Mackey's, what are they, 8-inch, and they work. They sound good, but I don't trust them like I would a pair of Adams or something like that. So otherwise, some of the FRFR cabs will fart out on you on bass tones, but they sound great for, you know, for guitar tones. So I would say if you're doing guitar and bass, studio monitors mixed with a subwoofer would be the way to go. Maybe the settings, but the JSX cuts more, CS asked. Yeah, you know, that's why I was doing some adjustments here. Let me turn the treble up. The PRS is a little dark, so let me crank the treble up a little bit, and let me take the bass down. That's why I was making some adjustments, because I was like, man, there's so much low end in that amp. It's ridiculous. And I just want to be fair. I felt like the volume was a little lower on the PRS as well. Again, like in the room, the PRS is like, the low end is just breaking my legs here. It's like ridiculous. Let me do one more back and forth. I'll start with the JSX. Well, I'll start with the PRS because I want to dial that in real quick. 1 second, guys. Wow, my in-ears keep cutting in and out. I got a frequency issue tonight. Yeah, I dialed the PRS in a little better. I forgot, I haven't played that samp in like 2 months, and it's just been sitting there, and probably the last time I played it, I might have dialed it in for something, maybe profiles or darker or something like that, but I think I nailed it as far as the way it's set up. I literally just dialed it in tonight and volume matched it, and that was all. I didn't really tweak the knobs that much, so, but yeah, I think it holds its own, man. That's a killer amp. If you're looking for a lunchbox amp that doesn't sound like a lunchbox amp, that is the quintessential example of one that does that. I mean, that little stick of dynamite there is amazing. It's a giant killer. It really is. It is a great amplifier. And if you're looking for a piece of history, there you go. Right there. I hope I'm not sounding like a salesman. I'm just recommending things. That's all. I don't make any money off it, so what do I care, right? But anyways, all right, guys. I'll answer a couple more questions and call it a night here. White Devil, what's going on, buddy? Thanks for bringing that up, CS, about the settings. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Gunnerman says, MT-15 sounds awesome. It really does. It's a great amp. CS says, I'm not a studio engineer either, but I did sleep at a Holiday Inn. That's funny. Oh, man, you guys are hilarious. Daryl McMillan, that did the trick. The MT-15 is killing it now. Yeah, it's a great amp. Oh, my God. If you guys haven't gotten... Seriously, if you haven't gotten an MT-15, you're looking to collect some cool amps, and you just want something to kick around the house and not have to lug around, and it's not so big and bulky, that's a go-to amplifier. I can't recommend it enough. Every time I play through it, I'm like, holy crap! Like, I'm always surprised at how good it sounds. So, I got the settings up there right now, and man, they just sound, it's just a killer amp, you know. Yes, there, you just made the MT-15 sound better than JSX. Yeah, it's, I tell you, man, that thing is amazing. Let's see here. Tony says, so I'm getting myself an amp for Christmas. What would you get, knowing what you know, if you had none? Okay, so I'll end the night with this answer. So let me ask you a question real quick too, Tony. What's your budget? Because I don't want to recommend something that's, you know, out of your budget. Obviously, that would be kind of silly. So I'll wait for your answer. It's like a 20-second delay, so I'll wait for that, and then we'll have a quick conversation about that. And I'm going to go up and cook some food. Gotta get to my protein. Getting myself an amp for Christmas. Yeah, I mean, depending on your answer, depending on your budget. I mean, if you're looking for... All right, let me say this while I'm waiting for your... Oh, no limit. Oh, sheesh. All right, well, if there's no limit, dude, if you don't have an Ingle Savage, go get an Ingle Savage. I'll just put that out there. So that's one recommendation I'll make for you. It's a very unique amp, and if I absolutely adore that amplifier. It is stupid good. And if you're curious about it, watch my dial-in video on it. It's the Ingle Savage 120 Mark II. And I go really in depth on the amplifier and do a lot of, like, you know, tweaks and you know, stuff with that. Play it in mixes. I show the different gain structure settings. I also use it in my Everything You Need to Know About Gain and Overdrive Pedals video. So that's one of the amps I use in there. So yeah, watch those videos about it and see what you think. But that amp is definitely, I can't recommend it enough. Absolutely killer amp. If you're looking for something more budget-oriented but isn't budgety, again, it's not cheap and crappy, and it's small, the MT-15. If you want something really cool and boutique-y, get a Chariot Tone Molecular. I mean, I don't know anybody that... I have people come over here and play through this wall of sound all the time. And they love it. And everybody loves the Chariot Tone. Not one person yet has been like, oh, I can't stand it. It's a great amp. They're handmade by a really cool guy named Nick in Malaysia. And all the boards are... It's all hand-wired, everything. And they sound incredible. I'm going to do a dial-in series on that. And if you also want another really cool boutique kind of amp built by a great guy, Scott Splawn is amazing. And I'm getting a Nitro. It should be here within the next few weeks. And that, the Quick Rod, it's a good amp. It's just not for me, but I understand why people like it. It's a great amp. I liked the Nitro. That Nitro really spoke to me. I thought that was an amazing amp. So there's another one for you. And... gosh, what else? I mean, off the top of my head that I can highly recommend, if you want something really unique and amazing, get the Ingle Savage Mark II 120. I mean, that amp is stupid. Channel 2, great crunch channel. Channel 4 is a great whatever you want channel. And again, Channel 3, if you want to play like Jack the Ripper, and just, you know, and just have some eerie, awesome, quirky wah stuff. I mean, that's your channel right there. So, can't go wrong. By the way, Motor City Guitars can get you a great deal on an MT-15 if it rocks your world. That's right, Todd. They really can. So click that link for Motor City. They support the channel. And they let me do videos like this. Like, they let me take awesome gear home so that I can share it with you guys and shoot it out. And I appreciate them very much. So if you're looking to buy something, please give them a try. Click on the link below in the description and check out all the great inventory they have. They got great deals. They ship all over the U.S. And if you buy outside of the state of Michigan, you don't pay any sales tax. So support a great store. CS, agree, Savage, it's next for me. And he does a great fit on it. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Or the new Rev Gen Mark III. I'm going to have one here. And thanks to a lot of the guys that watched Rev go live with that new amp for suggesting that they send me one. They actually reached out to me and said they're going to send me one, not to keep, but to demo for you guys. So keep your eye on the channel for that. I will get one soon, ish, and demo it for you guys. I'll be happy to. They're great people. Spawn Nitro CS will punch you in the chest. I love mine. Yeah, dude. I mean, that thing, the body blows that come from that amp is just like, oh my god. That amp has the most punchy, it's not woofy low end. It's like, it literally, like, if you're in the ring with Rocky Balboa and he's hitting you in the liver, man. I mean, that amp just, ugh, right in the liver, man. It's like body blow after body blow, and it's just amazing. That is a great amplifier. Cherry Tone does great amps. Lucas says, also own a version of the Sugar. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he makes one like that. I mean, Nick's a great dude, man. He's hilarious too, and he makes great stuff. So, I mean, most of the time when you get a boutique amp from somebody who hand builds them and hand wires them, you're gonna pay like $3,000 to $4,000. That Cherry Tone Molecular is like $1,350 and it's 100 watts. I mean, that's a freaking value right there. That's a huge deal. That's really nice. So, does Motor City carry it? Yeah, you can get Ingle at Motor City. So call them or click the link. I don't know if they have, you know, the Mark II in stock right now, but you can talk to them and see if they can get you one. You know, I know they distribute through ESP now, so I'm pretty sure they can get one for you. So give them a try. Honestly, they are a great store. They really are. They're like 10 minutes from me. I'm in there a couple times a week. And again, they support the channel. They don't pay me. I'm just saying they support the channel by letting me take home gear so I can demo it for you guys and we can enjoy a drink together and, you know, check out new gear. So I really appreciate them for that. So, okay, one last question. He says, you still on the KSR Eros Overdrive? I need a Christmas present and love the Rocky Balboa analogy. No, I'm on, tonight I used the Precision Drive for the gate, but the Eros is a great pedal. In fact, I'll switch back and forth between them right now. So I'll do that real quick and then we'll call it a night. So I'm going to go over to the MT-15 for that, just to change it up tonight. So I'm going to go to the MT-15, I'm going to start on the Horizon, and then I'm going to switch to the Eros, okay? 1 second here. Let me mute the mic. Okay, so that last pedal I was on was the KSR Eros, and it's got a lot of switches and knobs, so I was making some adjustments on it. But yeah, it's a great pedal. It really is. I think it's something you should have in your toolbox just to change things up and have a different flavor every once in a while. Great pedal. Tony, oh, thanks, dude. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. That's what I'm here for. Just demo stuff, answer questions. That's why I go live, because I get a lot of questions on the channel, and I try to answer them all via text and stuff, but it's nice to be able to have like an instant answer, and I can actually demo stuff for you, and you can ask follow-up questions, and I can give follow-up answers immediately and shoot stuff out for you. That's really what this channel is all about. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Chicago Todd says, cool, interesting fact. The upcoming Quad Cortex from Nero DSP will let you capture not all pedals, but it can be used as a block in your signal chain. Yeah, that's right. You can capture overdrive and distortion pedals with it. That is cool. Tony says, hit it again, brother. Let's rock a minute longer. Okay, you got it, man. So, all right, so this is the Eros pedal on the MT-15. I'll just play some, some stupid riffs with it, and maybe I'll even do a, whoops, oh, I can't do a mix with this one now. I already did all the ones I have with this. So let me just play a couple riffs for you. There's some crappy sloppy playing for you. Man, my in-ears I keep losing signal. It's like it's driving me nuts. I gotta reset the pack tonight because it's going crazy on me. Literally, like I'm playing and it's going in and out. It's like, oh my god. Oh, it's driving me nuts. So I heard most of it, but alright, so Lucas says if someone wants to buy a Peavey JSX and can't find a second-hand amp market, they could try the version, the Bujera, yeah, 333XL Infinum, the amp really close to the original Satch signature. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I heard that. Steve Evenchek was telling me that earlier. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that. CS says, I have one of those, and you're right. It's a good sounding amp. Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard the Bujera, however you say it, is a decent budget amp, They're not bad. Not way to end the show. Chicago Tell says, smash the thumbs up. Yeah, please. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed this, please hit the like button and please subscribe. I really appreciate that immensely. I go live every Wednesday night with either new amp, piece of gear, something. We do shootouts. We have the gauntlet. And we run them through the gauntlet of every amp. We'll shoot them out some nights against every amp. And we have a lot of fun with that. And then on Sunday nights, Carrie joins me, and we hang out with you guys, do some quick little demos, do viewer comments, and just all kinds of crazy stuff. Like last Sunday, we did Help I Hate My KEMPER. We had a guy come over, and a friend of mine, and we profiled some amps for him and got him to keep his KEMPER because he loved the profiles that we did. So, we do a lot of cool stuff here. We have a good time. So, and yes, I smashed it. It got smashed. Thank you. Aaron Lucas, what's going on, man? You with the tech glitches sounding good. Thank you very much. Bruce Clark, what's happening? He says he's got a 333 XL, and it kills. That's awesome. Well, guys, seriously, if I missed any comments, I apologize. I'm trying to keep up with everybody and do all this too, so I appreciate it. And if you missed the demo I did with the, the Dynamount, go back and watch it on the rewatch. I'll try to timestamp it tonight for you guys. But I really appreciate you guys being here. I know that there's a lot of other places you could be hanging out, tonight, and I'm honored and privileged that you chose to spend the evening with me. I really appreciate that, because every day is a gift, and I appreciate the fact that you spent part of yours with me. So thank you guys. I love you all. Appreciate you very much. And this will be back in the store ready for shipping out tomorrow for anybody who wants it. Again, $679, brand new. Nice deal. So again, thanks guys. Appreciate it. And we will see you all Sunday night. Carrie and I will be joining you Sunday night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So take care, guys. Love you all. And we will see you next